Okay, if you got the sketch built, we can exit out. And the next part of the assignment was to try and put planes on the middle of the lines, but you can see it didn't like that. So again, if I select plane, it won't let me pick a line or an edge over here. It'll give me an error because this is all one unit. So what do we got to do so that I could create a plane here? Again, you got to remember this is all one sketch, so it doesn't recognize these as individual lines. There's a couple things we can do here. Under transform, we've learned the join command. There's also a feature here called disassemble. Under disassemble, I can select all or domain. If I say domain, whoops, I clicked off the sketch here. The number 5 shows up here, meaning that you've got 3 rectangles, a circle, and a spline. Would be the 5 different domains. The all cells would recognize 4 lines, so that's 12 lines, 13, 14, that's 2 halves of a curve, and then 1 spline would be 15. So if I select all right now, all these lines have a datum on it, and a datum means it's an isolated element, not datum as what engineering tech thinks, or engineers or designers think of datums. In this case, Dassault calls datums isolated elements, and it has that little red mark on there letting you know that they're isolated. So if I hide the sketch, these lines and curves are literally on top of the sketch. But now when I go to the plane command, I can use normal to curve, grab this line and select OK, and it puts a plane in the middle. Again, normal to curve plane, you can grab a line and it will put it wherever you select. If I do normal to curve, this spline is all one entity, so it puts that plane right in the middle of that. So what would happen if I create a plane in the middle of this circle? Did you notice that when I select the circle, it recognized 2 halves of the circle, it splits that in half. Alright, so if I were to do something like points and planes, and select this arc and try and do, I don't know, 10 of these, I got my 10 points. Let's do that again. Select this. You have to turn on with the endpoints with normal planes. Type in 10 instances and preview that. I didn't do a very good job of letting me preview the planes, but you see these planes only went halfway around instead of the full circle. So here's the difference. I'm going to create, oh, I forgot to do this. I'm going to delete all of these. And I'm going to create a new geometrical set. I'm going to create 2. First one is going to be feature properties. Disassemble. All cell. I'm supposed to use the up and down arrows to remember the last thing you type, but I don't know why it takes. Should be the very last thing. Seems like I hit the arrow several times to get what I last typed. Disassemble all cell and disassemble domain. Okay, so put this back in show. Define the in-work object. Under the transfer command, we have the disassemble. Again, that's in the transform tab. You have disassemble. I'll do all cells again for this sketch and select OK. And if we were to count this up, we would get a total of 15. And again, I went to plane, normal to curve, and then I selected a line. And that's how I was able to create a plane in the middle of a line. And on the middle of the spline. And then I did this curve here. And then I tried to demonstrate planes repetitions, like this circle here. We did 10. Preview that. Select OK. Got your 10 planes over there. I will hide this disassemble. Compare that to the domain by making this my in-work object. And this time, with that disassemble and hide, I'm really looking at the sketch. Okay. I will go to transform this sketch that's already highlighted and disassemble it using domain. And this time when I go to plane repetition and select this circle and hit preview, select OK, I get my 10 planes equally spaced on the circle. Again, I can select this curve under plane repetition, say OK, do the same thing. I got 10 equal planes along that spline. What happens when I select this curve here? And let's hit 1 and hit OK. See, I don't know where my plane's going to be, and it's not perpendicular to the line. All right, so I'm going to hit undo, plane repetition, select this one here. Let's just try 1. Oh, I did that already. Let's do the plane repetition, select this one here, and go 10. So you get 10 planes kind of arbitrarily equally spaced along that line as best as it can figure it out, because it recognizes this entire rectangle. Alright, so hopefully that explains the difference between your transformation feature, disassemble, all cell versus domains. That should help you complete creating the sketch, creating these planes on that circle, and answering those questions. Next step is to create these surfaces.